coming. PNM coming. PNM coming.
Thank you, Black Rock. Good evening. PNM people, good evening. And to you, Tobagonians who are at home tuning in on social media, thank you for tuning in to the People's National Movement this evening. It's a privilege to see you out at 9:02 p.m. minding Tobago people's business. This is serious business. This is a serious election. And those of you who are privileged to be out here, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. There are those of you who are at home who cannot be out here because they are afraid because of the pettiness that pervades Tobago in these days. Now you're in trouble if you like a post on social media that make you look like you like a PNM post. You are in trouble for talking to PNM people. I have been here out in the field for roughly 14 years, and I've never seen it like this. When you talk to the people in their households, when you talk to the young people especially, those who are working in the Tobago House of Assembly, and they are fearful to express themselves freely because of what is taking place. You have people who like a post or make a certain statement on the social media and get called into supervisor's office and have their positions threatened. That is the reality that we are facing as Tobagonians. So we have reason to fight. We have reason to show up. We have reason to show out. We have reason to go to the polls on April 28 and vote. Because just as much as this is a general election, it has implications for us here in Tobago. Just as much as this is a general election, there are people in their quiet corners who are counting on you to fly the flag, to go from house to house, door to door, and let people know, hey, we have to come out and let our voices be heard because we can't talk freely on social media. We can't talk freely on the radio. We can't. I remember working in Division of Finance, and there were opposition people in those days. They were coming to work with their flags on their cars and so on. Now you cannot try that under this TPP. So Tobagonians, we have serious work to do for our people and to transform, to get back to a place of decency and order and even liberty so that our people can be happy once again. I greet you, brothers and sisters, under the beautiful, bountiful banner of the People's National Movement. We have been constant and consistent like the Balize, confident and courageous, going about the people's business, in government, out of government, minding our business, minding the people's business, standing in the gap for Tobago, standing in the gap for Trinidad and Tobago. And in a time like this, there is so much distraction and confusion, deliberate misinformation. There are people being paid $40,000 a piece to bamboozle your head and to give you that feeling that there is nothing to fight for, nothing to vote for. So we have to remain focused as a people, not only as PNMites, but also as Tobagonians. We have to remain focused. We have to stay the course. We have to remember that we are in the business of nation building. We are in the business of nurturing and preserving our Tobago. It is we who have to do the work. Nobody would come from outside and save us. So that is why it is so important for us to understand this election and what it stands for. This is a general election where we vote in central government, where we vote in who you're going to support as prime minister. And the choices are clear because it boils down to Kamala Persad-Bissessar of the decrepit UNC and Stuart Richard Young of the mighty, energetic People's National Movement. It boils down to that. And so we must be honest when we face Tobagonians. This is not a Tobago House of Assembly election. So don't let them get you caught up and mixed up with the Tobago House of Assembly problems that they did not fix and now trying to pass it over to somebody else. This is their responsibility. And if they didn't do their work for the past 3.5 years in Tobago, where they were elected to work and to defend you and stand in the gap for you, then how are they going down to central government to sit in Kamala's government to fight their fight for Tobago? How? The UNC MPs in Trinidad don't even want to be in the UNC. They are not even getting to fight for their constituency in the UNC. So you coming out of Tobago with you saying with your 2 seats that you're going to negotiate. Negotiate what and with whom? Because in order for you to have a healthy and fruitful negotiation, the other side have to have some semblance of likeness, some semblance of agreement, some semblance of unity as to what we are thriving and striving, what we are striving towards. And we know what the UNC gives. We are Tobagonians, we know exactly what we got under the UNC. So I want you to ask the TPP where you're carrying we, and what you're carrying us there for, and what you intend to get when you go there. And these provisions that these proposals you're going to make in your manifesto or whatever you're going to come with, how sure are you that the other side are going to be party to that? You understand what I'm saying? They are leading you down a road to nowhere. And if their business is to stand in Tobago and defend us and build us, and they have not done that over the past 3.5 years, what are you going down in Trinidad to do? You have to be very open and honest with them as to who we are and what are our expectations, and let them know that we are not fools. This is not about you, Tobagonians. This is about the TPP delivering to Kamala what they had promised her in exchange for what she gave them to secure the Tobago House of Assembly election. This is a sellout. This is a sellout. And you have been here before. So act like you know, brothers and sisters. Let's be very clear about the message. We are the People's National Movement. We have been the People's National Movement from day one. 1956. 69 years long, 69 years strong. We never changed color. We didn't go to DAC and TPP and what is it? PDP and all the other names. We have been honest with you. We never hid behind anybody. What you see is what you get. So we sought out our candidate early. We issued a call for people to choose the best and the brightest of their communities. We allowed you to make your criticisms. We allowed you to investigate, to ask questions. Then we call the candidates, the prospective persons to the fore so you can say what you know about them. To this day, we cannot see who is Kamala's 39. And it's only last week the TPP was able to muster up some kind of arrangement where they give the candidate what he asks for so that he can be your candidate. There is no kind of negotiation like that in the People's National Movement. There is no underhanded deal when it comes to selecting a candidate. It's about representation. It's about service. It's about commitment. And that is what the People's National Movement is all about. It's about having a solid track record, brothers and sisters. So tonight we have to be very, very, very clear in our messaging. This is about strictly nation building and creating opportunities for all of us, maintaining a stable economy so that we can enjoy the life that we are accustomed to. It's about education for our children. It's about creating a brighter future for those who are about to take SEA next week, for those who are about to take CXC in the upcoming months. That is what this is all about. There are many who are going to try to tell you it's about what you give me lately. Pass me some Hennessy and what 40,000. When you go to some people's houses, that is what it's like, because that is what they are being trained to believe. But we are clearly and squarely in the business of nation building. And we don't have to tell no lies or make any false claims to get anybody vote. It is about being upfront and frank and honest. I was here in Black Rock a couple weeks ago, walking the constituency, and I met some young men opposite the bar on the side there. And they said, "You want our vote?" One of them said, "You want our vote? Well, just give us some weed. Nice and easy, just a little weed." And I said, if that is what it takes to get your vote, I don't want your vote. That is a vote I go have to live without. You understand what I'm saying? Because in the past THA elections, there are people who get their little weed for vote. We're not in that business, honey. We're not in that business, brothers and sisters. So I said to the young man, I said, if I give you weed, then I am contributing to destroying the community that I am trying to build. So I'm not just setting up you, I'm setting up myself. We're not in that kind of business. And he said, don't worry, I'm just testing you. I want to see if you're like the rest of them. You understand? So brothers and sisters, we have to be conscious about the business that we are in. And there is no bending. We are about nation building. And if you're not about that, then there is some votes we have to learn to live without. When I walk with some people and I say that to some people, the people walking behind me look a little shocked. But really, when you come with those kinds of propositions, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm going to do that. You understand? Because it's about standard. That is what the People's National Movement has been about, standard and quality representation. And we do what is necessary towards building Trinidad and Tobago. And we don't do any foolishness for political expediency, because it is one thing to win the seat, but the real contract is about development. It's about moving the nation forward. It's about moving Tobago forward. And it doesn't matter the time of day, the time of night, or circumstance. That is the business that we are in. And we shall never faint or falter in that regard. The People's National Movement is on the move once again, building Trinidad and Tobago. So ladies and gentlemen, we are about social support for the needy, whether it's disability grant, food card, hampers. We are working with the needy to ensure that they get the necessary care. And many of them can testify of the support that they got from the constituency offices, east and west, under MPs Ayanna Webster Roy and Shamfa Shaki Cudjoe-Lewis. It's about creating economic opportunity for the average Tobagonians so that all small contractors can get work and they are not drowned out by Central and South Trinidad. It's about turning job seekers into job creators. That is what we are about in the People's National Movement. There are so many youngsters that they had promised that we're going to give you work, we're going to make sure you get contract and so on. And today, Krenene, absolutely nothing empty promises after they have gotten your vote. We know that all too well. But the People's National Movement is about delivery. It's about delivering projects that would promote change, positive change in Tobago. Just a couple weeks ago, we opened the spanking new airport extension of the ANR Robinson International Airport here in Tobago. 2.1 billion central government dollars invested in all Tobago, and that is something we ought to be very proud of. There are those who would try to downplay that project, telling us we need to put the airport between our legs. We heard that. We heard that in our August house of our Tobago House of Assembly. Yes? There are those of us who try to downplay the project because when they were invited to go on the walk, on the tour of the project, the protocol officer told the MC, don't call them. Don't call us, and now you want to play victim. If we're being open and honest, then Mr. Pascal would tell us what he said to Mr. George when he was on the mic. We're talking the things. We're talking the things. Because when they contacted your protocol person in the morning, they said, no, we're not interested in going in the tour. And then when the time came and they were about to make the announcement, the protocol officer told the MC, don't call anybody from the THA, we're not coming on no walk. Wow. And the MC, being the public servant he is. Wow. We're talking the things. We're talking the things. So ladies and gentlemen, we are about nation building. We are about minding our business. We are about progress. Every opportunity they get, they're looking for confusion and bacchanal to play victim. Because you see, they asked for power. When they were on the opposite side, they had all the answers. And now they are in position to work and to operate and to deliver. So it's plenty distraction. They pick and fight. They're looking for confusion. They're looking for commerce. Because now you're in the driver's seat, honey. You are in charge. And it's on you to take us to a place that is more positive, to deliver, to make everything all right. But you are seeking distraction and playing victim because you put your foot in boots that are too big for you. And you're not willing to settle down. You're not willing to be responsible. You're not willing to be leaders. So you're busy, pick and fight. But brothers and sisters, we would not be distracted. We would be focused. And in Tobago, under their leadership, we have been placed on pause. The place dead. The place heavy. Nothing ain't going on. People not getting economic activity, no money and moving. For the average man, money must be moving for them. They must be buying house and have URP building house for the bloggers and so on. But for the average Joe, who when they go into the division of housing, they are being told we're not accepting any applications now for the $50,000 grant. There's another grant for $400,000 that you don't see laid out. That form is being distributed to their followers. You understand what I'm saying? So, we are to talk the things if we're talking the things. Yes? So, that is not what the People's National Movement is all about. It's about providing opportunity for everybody. Everybody to get a chance to earn, to live, to succeed, to thrive. And that is why we refurbished the golf course at Magdalena to attract sport, tourism business. And you see more golf tournaments taking place, and it's not only for the athletes, but for the business people who are going to provide services to the athletes. That is why we included Tobago in hosting the Commonwealth Youth Games. The caterers, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, everybody had an opportunity to earn some money. And very soon we're going to be hosting events like International Triathlon. We hosted the special beach games here in Tobago, also bringing that activity into Tobago. And they tell you you get nothing from central government. It's the same central government that desilted the Hillsborough Dam. Booster stations throughout Tobago to improve your water capacity. And yes, when there's dry season, you're going to have your challenges. But we can say today that the situation is certainly better than it was before the PNM came back in power. And to support what we're doing in having the new airport, we have been working on getting first-class hotels to Tobago. They fought us in the first edition of the whole Sandals initiative. We are relentless. We are trying it again. We hope this time around those who big and have sense would get on board. Because 10 on, 10 off cannot work for our young people. You have to expose them to training at an international level. So when they finish, if they want, they could stay with the hotel or they could go wherever they want. I remember getting married at Sandals in Barbados. And I remember the person who took my pictures at about 5,000 US for the day used to pack plastic bags in a nearby supermarket. Came into Sandals and got training at the Sandals University, and then he broke off from them and went and formed his own business. So don't get caught up in this talk about we only gonna be bellboys and that kind of foolishness. That is backwardness. That is the backwardness them does be talking on the platform, and that is the foolishness they're teaching their supporters, teaching them to hate and teaching them to be negative and teaching them, look here, the PNM is not about that. We come here to talk about we. We come here to talk about Tobago. We come here to talk about our future and what we have been doing and what we are going to do for the people of Tobago. So we are going to give Sandals a shot once again. The Marriott project that we are working on, that is now in its design and approval stage. All of this would provide jobs and economic activity for Tobagoanians. Those who are into the food business, those of us who want to open laundromats and so on. You talk about a beaches hotel, you're going to need babysitters to watch the children and so on. You're going to need people to manage. You're going to need people to do the technical work. And we are capable in a country where we have free education, training people in any and everything. We have the qualifications. We have the grit to do the work. So this is an incredible opportunity for us. And as I talk about that, you know, they like to mention that, yes, and it's Shamfa Cudjoe that had signed the first agreement. I signed, and I know what I signed. So when they tell you what I signed, let them show you every single page. Because it was a document to get us to a place of having conversation. Because before that, we were just talking and playing about doing a Sandals project. But we had to have a document, a place to start from, to start our negotiation. And in that document spoke to getting workers from home first, getting the agricultural products from home first. And after you have exhausted home, then you can look outside. They're not showing you those pages. They're not having that conversation with you, but they try to make you feel like the Sandals project was such a bad thing. And then when you go to some of them, they say, well, it was because of the damage they were going to do to the environment. We hadn't even gotten to the stage of talking about what the building and the implementation would be like and what we would use in the 21st century to preserve the environment. We haven't even gotten to that. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give it another shot because the Tobago House of Assembly cannot employ everybody. And we know well and good that 10 on, 10 off is a mama guy. So you had 3.5 years to provide meaningful employment to Tobagonian. You did just about nothing. You barely cut the grass on the side of the road. You barely cleaned the drains. Let me tell you, I'm from Church Street, Lower Bethel, up by the Montgomery Church. And so I like to take the shortcut from down by where Old Grange Police Station used to be to up by the Montgomery Church. And the overhang of bush that was down in the center of the road only up to about a month or 2 months ago, right before the election call. So you're trying to tell me all them persons you have paying CPEP and URP, were they there? Were they cleaning when the daytime come? You understand what I'm saying? And as much as you want to make us the greatest little island, you have to keep the place clean. Because as you go from community to community is bush. It don't take too much technology to get the young people and get the workers to cut the bush. It don't take too much technology to clean the drains. You understand what I'm saying? So what are you managing and where are you taking us? What's the golf? Black Rock Golf Course. Black Rock Golf Course, you don't need a gate to close. You could just walk through one of the holes. And this was one of their promises too, as they walked from house to house about what they were going to fix. They came to your homes, plenty of you. And some of you believe they were fixing roof. You remember when they were going house to house and fixing roof? And we say, if this is what they are about, then there are people who say we want them. Yeah, because it's long time I put my name up down in settlements and I didn't get through and they fixed my roof right away. And they was showing the little videos and we were getting excited the day after they went where the roof project went. Where did the roof project go? The roof project went through the roof. And only those who blogging could get URP to build a house. If that is the kind of carrying on you're going on with at home, what are you going and do when you go down in Kamala government? The government that she wouldn't get to have. They're wicked indeed. So brothers and sisters, and you have to look at delivery too. You have to look at delivery because we have been under the UNC before. And we know what the UNC give in the same kind of arrangement because Delman Baker and Vanilla Topping went down there with 2 TOP seats. And they told us that they're going and negotiate. And they told us they're going and give us internal self-government. And they told us they're going and give us all this type of stuff. Tobago University, integrated campus, and all these things. What did they give to you? What did they give to you? Show me what the UNC gave to Tobago during their leadership. Tell us what Vanilla Allen Topping under the TOP and Delman Baker delivered. They were in the parliament telling the people that in Tobago we just roll up like a babies in foil paper. We remember, and as much as they promised 10% for salaries, immediately after they come in and tell you it was a misprint. You remember the misprint of the pension. They told the people that they would increase the pension. And then came back and told us that Russ Entertainment did a misprint and we had to live with that. So don't pretend that you have forgotten. For years, we had been leasing the ferries and so on. And when the boat goes on dry dock, the business chamber and so on used to be in the papers making mayhem. I was Minister of Tourism at the time and it used to be pressure. Today we own our own ferries. We're not leasing, we own them. And this PNN government took that initiative to make that investment in Tobago. And no other government had done such a thing or anything close to it. We expanded the electricity capacity at Cove in order to support a growing Tobago economy and a growing tourism industry. That is what we are all about in the People's National Movement. We are building for tomorrow. We are not only trying to make your lives comfortable today, but we are building for tomorrow because we know we are capable of more as a people and we are watching the rest of the world roll by. You're looking at what is happening in the US, in Canada, in the Asian countries, and we have to keep our economy solid and strong so we can continue to enjoy the quality of life to which we have become accustomed. And development is more than infrastructure. Because we have the different projects and programs to help those who have fallen behind to catch up. Oshun spoke earlier about the Empower TT program where we work with young men who had dropped out of school and looking for new direction. We talk about Boss Lady where we work with women who are unemployed, exposing them to skills so that they can build their own businesses. We talked about ECCL, assured certified project programs where we learn wig making and how to do curtains and draperies and how to do oils and so on and soaps and so on, so all women can see different avenues, explore different avenues of income generation. And when they shut down, when they take away the keys to the community center, we found another corner because at the end of the day, all business is about delivery. And if we are to run the class at the side of the road, we will, to ensure that Tobago people are educated, to make sure that Tobago people are empowered, to make sure that we get a piece of the pie and we can stand on our own and earn our money too. And that is what we're all about. They went to, at the point in time, the Secretary of Community Development wrote a note telling the administrator, do not give access to community centers to no central government entity. And now you want to tell me about love and peace and unity? That is not what they preach. That is not what they practice, I should say. But ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we are about developing Tobago people in a developing Tobago. And that is why we had worked with T&Tech and the Ministry of Public Utilities to resume the training program in T&Tech so our young men can go in and develop their skills and then get jobs in there. Many of them can testify. It is why we provide the opportunities so all local homegrown engineers who have their degrees can get internship in management as engineers at WASA, or own Tobago people getting this type of experience and opportunity. That is what we are all about. Because 10 on, 10 off don't take you very far. You understand what I'm saying and where I'm going. It's about support to our people. Because when Kamla Prasad and her friends lost the election in Tobago in 2013, they cut us off from the Self-Help Commission program. It took the PNM coming back in power in 2016 to put back Tobago onto self-help, and now Tobagonians far and wide are getting that kind of assistance. And then the Ministry of Housing came in and exposed the home improvement subsidy and the home improvement grant to hundreds of Tobagonians so that they can build, so that they can refurbish their homes. That is the central government minding our business and offering these opportunities to all Tobagonians so you could improve your standard of living. In the Ministry of Sport and through Sport TT, right now we are working with Signal Hill Secondary to build their cricket nets. Because as much as they reached out to the Division of Sport, they did not respond, so they wrote to Sport TT and the Ministry of Sport, and we are helping them. In the same vein, up at Roxborough Secondary, when you see the condition of their sporting facilities, your sporting facility right here in Black Rock, sporting facility at Mount Pleasant, sporting facility down at Bonaccord, the football team down at Bonaccord just reached out to me asking for lights and telling us the problems that they are having there. So when you take it to social media to tell me about Dwight York Stadium that we have been refurbishing, it's the one facility in Tobago that the central government is responsible for. And we have made the commitment to refurbishing. We have spent over $20 million so far. We just had the turnstiles installed and certified and approved here at Dwight York Stadium. We recently closed in December and January in order to allow UDCAT to get some more work done. And the same Tobagonians were crying out that, hey, this is sports season, we can't afford to close Dwight York Stadium now. So we sat down with UDCAT and we say, okay, let's develop a schedule where we can have it open so that they can have some activity. Now they're telling me, well, you you say it would have finished by X day or Y day, why it ain't finished yet? You can't close it and fix it at the same time. You have to make up your mind. And it's a sacrifice that we all have to make here in Jamaica, wherever you go. At the end of the day, you have to remember that the installation of a track is not an everyday thing. You're not finding contractors right around the corner to deliver a certified certified track. You have to get a contractor who is willing to work and willing to work with a decent budget. So the mayhem you're trying to create about the one facility in Tobago that we are working on and have delivered to an extent and are continuing to do the work, and so many local facilities under your eye. In your own community, look at the stage of Black Rock basketball court. I walked Lake Atola earlier, and they said to me, they introduced me to 3 basketballers, some of them playing with their schools that don't have no proper facility to practice. And I raised the issue of the indoor facility that the PNM started to build, but because of their bad mind and their wickedness and their pettiness, they shut down that project and tried to give Tobagoans the impression that it's Shamfa, Cudjoe, and the central government. That was a Tobago House of Assembly project from day one. So who you fooling? They don't want to take responsibility for the activities that they fought to take charge of. They said they could do it better. They said that they will fix it. Here we are 3.5 years later. The time already up and they ain't fixed nothing but themselves. So if that is what you're doing here, in the areas for which you are responsible, what you're going to do elsewhere? So brothers and sisters, it's about also delivering so many of the different social programs to Tobago, and the list goes on and on and on. But we have to make a comparison. And it is between Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC and Stuart Richard Young and the People's National Movement. It is easy as that. It is simple as that. It's about representation that you have had for the last 9 years. Of MPs who are constantly in your community, having public day with you. We do not now start to walk because we got the opportunity to run for the seat. We have been walking all the way along since January of 2016, a little part, a little piece every single month. And that is what we are all about. So brothers and sisters, you have to make that comparison and look for that track record of delivery. Look for that track record of service. Look for that track record of representation. We have programs in our constituency offices where you could come in and fill out forms, and we will work with you until you get the necessary grant. There are people who can testify. This is not no empty promises that we are making. So it's all about telling the story. It's all about being honest, being forthright, and looking for what we have to show for it. And because they know they have not done much, the UNC, we know that they know that they are about destruction and everything negative. They are now paying influencers $40,000 a piece to get on social media and not tell us what they have done, but badmouth the PNM. And they're looking for social influencers of a certain creed, color, and race, because their campaign is a nasty racial one. It is a campaign of hate. It is a campaign of vitriol. Is that where we want to take our country? It is a campaign where when you go on a walk, when you plan your walk and you post your poster on social media, they are paying young people in the community to come out and run you out of the community. And they're giving you a phone to record while they run you out of the community, because that is how they politic. That is how they campaign. And how they campaign is exactly how they govern. So you're paying influencers. You're paying people to kick up water on people. You're paying people to run people out of the community. That is what we are up against. We don't have $30,000 to pay young men at the side of the road to run candidates out of the community. We don't have $40,000 to give to bloggers. And you must ask yourself, where they get this money from? Where they get this money from to give all these bloggers $40,000 a piece to get on social media and talk foolishness? You have to ask that question. And if you are that desperate to do that, then what is it that you're trying to do? Where are you going to take us? Because this is all about democracy. And what they're doing is destroying democracy, because democracy is about each person going out and place their vote based on the information that they have. And if the information is not clear, if the information is not true, and if you are being misinformed, then how can you make an intelligent decision? This is just like the Do So initiative that they had when they voted out Patrick Manning. So brothers and sisters, I want you to beware, be wise, and be focused. And remember that the fight is not about what takes place on social media only. It's about getting out there, knocking on doors, and talking to your brothers and sisters and encouraging them to come out and vote. There is so much worth fighting for. There is so much worth protecting. There is so much work going out and voting for, brothers and sisters. It is a revolution that needs to happen. You cannot sit in your corner and wish and hope and pray. It is spiritual destruction taking place across Trinidad and Tobago. This is more than politics, and you know that very well. You ever see some people walking around in your community, and before you could say good afternoon to them, they beast up their face, they're vexed, they're ready to fight? You as bloggers and you as persons on social media with your little Facebook account, and so you're afraid to say something, you're afraid to like something because they jump on you, they want to bark and bite you. That's the kind of politics that they are into. And you have to guard yourself and guard your community, your family, and your country against that, because you wouldn't be able to speak freely and you wouldn't be able to grow freely in your own country. When we were in government, we respect their opinions. We respected their positions. They were commenting and saying what they want and so on. Now they are in leadership. We are in opposition in Tobago. And if you dare not agree with something they said or posted, is fire and brimstone in your tail. This cannot be the Tobago that we are trying to develop. This cannot be the Tobago that we are trying to build or leave for the little children, brothers and sisters. So I want you to stay focused. Do not get carried away by the foolishness you see on social media, because when you click some of them profile, it have no proper name and no proper face. They had 2 first name and 2 last name. And they're spelling poor. And the grammar ridiculous too. You get what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? It's a revolution that we have to carry, and it would not be televised. The revolution would not be televised. It's about each and every one of you going down there on the ground, doing the work, bringing out the vote. And for those of you at home who cannot walk with us, who cannot knock doors with us, who cannot even like a social media post, make it your business to go out on election day and place your vote. Go out on election day and have your say, because if you dare stay home, them that does be squinting their face and barking at you, they're going out and vote for the wrong things. And in 2-2s, you end up in the UNC with Kamala. So they are taking us into the UNC while the people in the UNC busy leaving. Be careful. Beware, brothers and sisters. Be wise, because we know all too well what the UNC gives and who the UNC are and what they really stand for. I want to end on one note, because they're trying to tell you that this is about internal self-government. Oh my God, when Trevor was making a little movie when he thought he would get his seat, he risked plenty people's life and carried them out in the sea to tell story and that kind of thing. Yeah? Because they're trying to make you believe that this is a story about internal self-government and fighting for autonomy and authority. If these folks wanted more responsibility, autonomy, and authority, they would have supported the bills. They would have made an effort to make a more useful and significant contribution to the process. Because when they were given the opportunity to comment, years passed and they did not comment. So you wait on the last day in the parliament. You don't even speak for yourself. You reach out to your UNC handlers to tell them, overthrow the process. That is cowardly behavior. That is not people who are ready for leadership, and that is not people who want internal self-government for Tobago. So to have that opportunity and let it pass you by, and then come now to tell me that this is all about internal self-government for Tobago and giving you more autonomy and authority. We were offering, let me tell you, we worked day and night as a parliament, opposition, independent, government, staff members of the parliament, parliaments from throughout the Caribbean, legal luminaries from all over the world, the United Nations, all helped us in drafting this legislation. And you throw that out, you throw the baby out with the bathwater to now come to tell us that this is about internal self-government. This is about an illegal arrangement that you have with Kamala, and we are not here for it. So every Tobagonian, this is your opportunity to stand up. This is your opportunity to defend all that we have built and worked on over all these decades, towards a brighter tomorrow, not only for ourselves, but for our children and the future generation. It is all in your hands. It is all in your voice. And finally, it is all in your vote. Make it your business and go out there on April 28th and vote Ayanna Webster Roy in Tobago East and Shamfa Ashaki Cudjoe-Lewis in Tobago West. Tobagonians, mind your business. Tobagonians, mind your business. Tobagonians, wake up. Tobagonians, this is your fight. Come out and vote wisely, brothers and sisters. Come out and have your voices heard, brothers and sisters. Come out and put to rest every naysayer and every drunkard who tried to overthrow your development. Brothers and sisters, this is your fight. This is your work to do. We will do it. We will walk. We will spread the gospel of the People's National Movement. We will improve our Trinidad and Tobago, and you better believe that we will vote. We will vote. Each and every one of us, north, south, east, and west Tobago, and all across Trinidad. You will not intimidate us by your social media posts. You will not intimidate us when we walk and you're shouting out all your profanities from your car. We are not afraid. We will vote, and we would vote resoundingly for the People's National Movement. We would vote for integrity. We will vote for economic stability. We would vote for decency in the affairs of the state. We would vote for a better Tobago. We would vote for a brighter future for all the little children. You best believe that we will vote on April 28th, brothers and sisters. Make your way out to the polls. By midday, we should be able to call it. We will vote. We will vote the People's National Movement. And you know, when we come out and we move together, when we fighting, we not fighting up, we fighting to win. And on that night, when we win and every vote have been brought in, we would all say we are all in, red, responsible, and ready. All in for TNT. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail. I thank you.